All right, Rain. So this is one of my favorite things to train on, and it's how to use social media to get people interested in what it is that you're doing. So in this case, it's Rain, all right? And one of the biggest things, and you probably heard this before, that you want to focus on, but I want to really explain it, is attraction marketing. You want to become a magnet. You want people to essentially ask you what it is that you're doing, get intrigued with what you're doing, because as long as the conversation can be open, you have the materials, the marketing system, and the videos within it to then do the selling for you. So the only thing that you guys want to focus on is getting people's attention. And I'm going to show you some techniques of how you can do that. I used to do it way back in the day, and it works even better today than it did then. So here's what you want to focus on, or here's what you want to think about as far as ways to market. So this video is going to be for a couple people. One, if you're saying, I've talked to every single person I know and I've gotten nowhere and I need to talk to people that I don't know yet. Well, number one, you probably haven't talked to every single person that you know. I recommend you open your phone up and you look through your contacts and you look at your Facebook friends. I think that that's an excuse that most people use because it's the easier thing to say, and that's just tough love, and I think that you guys can handle hearing that. But I do want to allow or comfort you guys a little bit with this video is going to shed some light on how you can reach out and attract strangers to you. But also, if you're in the process of reaching out to the people that you know and people in your phone contacts, you already have a relationship built with them. So you're probably going to get to the closing phase much quicker if you're going to get there at all, of course, right? So this kind of stuff I'm going to share with you takes time, but you need to stay consistent with it. So hopefully, you probably are in one of those two boats or maybe a combination of it. So here's the deal. Here's how you can market, right? Here's how you can get people to look at a bunch of the pages that we have in here. You can use Facebook, so there's online marketing, right? Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, other social media channels you might be on. You can also use cold market stuff like business cards, flyers, peer-to-peer, print materials. I recommend you do a combination of all this. Now, this training, we're going to go deeper into the online stuff, but this stuff is a must too, okay? So here's what I want to focus on. Facebook's my personal favorite. This one right here, there's a ton of people on Facebook. It's a great way to get your stuff out there and get people interested in what it is that you do. The reality is most people will jump on Facebook on their mobile device, and you probably do it too. You just scroll, and you scroll fast. I mean, you're ripping through the news feed. You're not really looking at stuff unless it catches your attention. So you guys as marketers need to make sure that you grab people's attention as they're scrolling. So what works? Selfies. Pictures of love, like those right now is because they're still kind of new. But if you do a post on Facebook where you have the colorful graphic behind the big text, those do a pretty good job of getting people to stop to read it as long as it's short. So what you need to focus on here is you need to get stuff out there that's going to make people stop and look at what it is that you're saying. So the idea is get a good image out there, and I have some ideas of images I'll give you in a second, on top of some captions you can back that up with to get people curious to know what it is that you're talking about or what you're speaking about, etc. So here's the deal. Let me go here. Use scroll stoppers. This is actually a training from another one. So let me just delete that picture of you. Well, here, we're just going to say this. Picture of you with the product. So if you have Rain product on hand, get a picture of you with, one of these, holding the product, looking at it, going like this. Anything like that is going to make people be like, what is that? And so you might want to put a picture up of you with the product with a face like that pointing to it, saying something like, I never would have known the power that seeds have on the human body. So crazy or super crazy. People are probably going to be like, what? Like, what does that even mean? And whether or not they reach out to you at that moment, yeah, of course you want people to reach out immediately, but they might start looking at what it is that you're doing because you've just created a curiosity within them. People watch on social media what other people do, especially if they're curious with what's going on or if they've gotten intrigued from something. So a picture of you using the product, a picture of your kids taking the product, a picture of you at the gym sweating maybe, stuff like that. That gets people's attention. And I'll tell you right now, is it a little bit of an uncomfortable thing to do right out of the gate? Yeah, but that's where the magic happens anywhere in life, which you probably have heard before. So feel free to get uncomfortable, but it's those kind of posts that most people don't do, which is why it creates attention of people who see them, okay? Because not many people are doing them. So really focus on that. And then picture of you doing healthy stuff, like healthy choices with dinner. And What I'll tell you is this: don't use social media to try and tout about how great you are. I mean, people, it doesn't work, and you shouldn't be doing that anyways. But really phrase it, with, hey, this is working for me. It may or may not work for you. More so, come at this whole thing as you should, with more of like a genuine, heart behind it. Like, look, I recommend, or I was able to make a healthy choice, today for dinner. It's a huge breakthrough for me. I'm super excited to keep this journey going, and these products are helping me along the way. Something like that, where people are like, wow, that's awesome, and I wonder what they mean by these products. You see what we're getting at here, guys? We're attracting people to wanting to know more about what it is that you're doing, and you have to stay consistent with it. I'm not saying 2-3 posts a day. I'm saying maybe 3-4 a week. Pictures of you, the family, love, health. If you want to make it more business minded, get a picture of you and your family and put a picture up and say something like, this is the reason why I work a job during the day and my side hustle at night. Wouldn't change it or wouldn't have it any other way. People might want to know, what is your side hustle? Whether they comment on that, they reach out to you on that, that's what I'm talking about. And so I want to jump down to here, because you're probably starting to see where I'm going with this. Likes and comments equal leads. If you guys start putting posts out there and they're getting likes and comments, those are people you have reason to then reach out to. You don't really have a reason to reach out to most people if you haven't talked to them in a while, and you do, they're probably like, what are you reaching out to me for? But if they engaged on something that you put out there, you all of a sudden have a reason, don't you? Right? So you have the ability to reach out to them, and that's where the grind happens. Like, you might sit there being like, oh man, that's a lot of work. Not really. I mean, if 10, 20 people comment or like, some of your pictures and videos and stuff, send out a quick 5-10 messages a day. Take you 10 minutes? And then field the conversation. Not everyone's going to reach back out to you, but the ones that do are the conversations that you want to nurture. All right. So we covered the scroll stopper, what to put up there. We gave you some ideas on what to say here. Things that you need to understand. Your job at this point with attraction marketing is solely to pique interest. Once they're interested in wanting to know more, and I'll tell you about how to kind of get them there, you want to point them to a resource. That's where your system comes in, where you can send them any of these resources in here. All right. So going back to this, when someone likes or comments on something that you put out there, you at that point can just hit them up, and you could say something as simple as this. What to say to someone who likes or comments on one of your posts. Hey, thanks so much for the love on my most recent post. We haven't talked in forever. How are things going? Something as simple as that, right? Now, if you've never talked to them, you probably wouldn't say we haven't talked in forever. You probably would say, hey, we've never talked, would love to connect with you. You have to use your judgment on this one a little bit, but you see where we're going. It opens up the conversation. At that point, it's important to use probing questions. So the way I can explain this best is, you want your prospect to ask you what it is that you do, where do you work, because that's where your pitch comes in. So ask questions to your prospect based on what you want them to ask you back, because most people reciprocate what it is that you say to them. So if you say, how have things been, or how are things going, how's the family going, they'll probably answer and say, so what about you? And at that point, that's I'm working down at XYZ restaurant during the day, and then at night I'm actually working on a seed-based nutritional company. It's pretty cool. Really? What's that all about? Well, I don't have a ton of time to go into it now, but I have a 2-minute video that explains everything. The products are really awesome, and I'm actually looking for people to kind of try them out in the local area. If you're interested, I can send it over. You can check it out. Oh, yeah, that would be awesome. Boom, you're piquing interest. You're pointing to a resource. No selling, none, because most people can't speak that fluently, at least out of the gate, right? That's where you want to go. So what I just said the last 2 minutes, you might want to pause, go back, and rewatch, because it's extremely important, and that's what duplicates. Do it a few times a day, and what's going to generate those conversations is what I talked about in the first 7 minutes of this training, is attraction marketing. So with that being said, utilize this stuff, stay consistent with it, and you'll see the results. I mean, truly and honestly, if you don't get likes right out of the gate, stay on it. It's not like you're going to get 100 likes right out of the gate, but use different techniques. You can even put something out here like this. What's your favorite workout or health supplement? You're going to get people to engage and respond with that. The more links and the more people you get to comment on your stuff, the more stuff or the more things people are going to see in the future. So focus on that. Look at it with the long-term game. Peak interest, point to a resource, and use social media to do it. And one other thing I'll leave you with is when you put a post on Facebook, cross-post it. And what I mean by cross-post it is put the same thing on Instagram, put it on Snapchat, put it on LinkedIn. There's no reason to take or to not take the extra 5 to 7 minutes to go put it on those other platforms. Let it work in all areas and be seen everywhere. Everyone's on different social media channels at different times. And you deserve to be seen by all those people. So do that and leverage one post on multiple different channels because multiple different audiences will see it. So with that being said, I hope this training shed some light on you. Go get busy, have the long-term in goal, and make it happen. And we'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.